Saturday, I get some rounds with the GOAT. One of the GOATs. You know what I mean? Two GOATs. Iron sharpening iron.
We haven't seen you since the world tour of Canelo versus Crawford. I was out in Riyadh. We had the American press conference too. What do you make of the build-up so far? There's some pushing and shoving going on. The weight difference is a big factor as well.
I pay no attention to the pushing and shoving. I pay no attention to the weight factor. What I pay attention to is the skill level that both guys show in and out of the ring.
Guys, even when I train right now, they come to my gym and I make them spend time, repetitious time like I did, on technique. They don't like it. They just want to beat bags, beat hand mitts, spar. Well, how can you do all this if you don't know the real technique that it takes to do it? So that's what's happening. We're missing all that because as soon as you come to the gym, first thing you want to do is hit something. In our day, it wasn't like that. You knew what kind of fighter you were. You knew how to jab. You knew how to throw a right hand. You knew how to throw every punch. You knew how to counter every punch. You knew how to defend every punch. You knew boxing from here.
Probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10, because he definitely has the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get, and that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best.
Terence "Bud" Crawford is stepping into dangerous territory, and he's doing it fearlessly. On September 13th, Crawford will challenge Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed super middleweight championship in Las Vegas. It's a historic leap, moving up 2 weight classes, but Crawford isn't coming alone. He's enlisted the help of boxing icon Roy Jones Jr. as head trainer. Roy knows what it takes to rise through divisions. He did it himself, winning titles from middleweight all the way to heavyweight.
Near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donaire. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost nobody.
Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Man, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he's gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it can go either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that's in the weight class. How do you think?
I don't care who you beat, the monster thing is gonna always follow him.
Terence is not taking a fight in between. He's like, I'm going to move up to 168. I'm gonna take my time with that. Should we expect an upset, or are we going to see what most people are expecting in that fight if it does happen?
Well, we're not gonna see what most people are expecting, that's for sure. I can guarantee you that, because most people looking at the weights and saying, oh, they're too far apart, Canelo's too big. No, we're not gonna see.
And you will see that.
So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, you gonna be a nobody? Everybody else been saying, since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass.
You've accepted this fight now, but in the previous years, you said it doesn't interest you because you have nothing to gain and everything to lose. If he were to beat you, how damaging would that be to the Canelo brand?
He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in the books of the history of boxing for sure. That's for sure.
For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me right
You
now.
can see it, but
it's
gonna be difficult. You take it to your
I'm taking them. And ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it come fight night.
I know Turkey is in your corner,
I promise you.
But look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Leave me.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you. No, you don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
What I'm seeing is I see a hungry Crawford. A Crawford that has been looking for the opportunity for a long time, finally getting the opportunity, and really ready to grab the opportunity. And with Canelo, I see a guy who not necessarily hungry, but loves to entertain, loves to give us the big fights. Always tries to give the big fights, He finds a way to give us big fights. Not gonna always win them, but he always try to give them to us. So he'll be a guy that.
Canelo is too big. No, we're not going to see what y'all think we're going to see. We're going to see a chess match, and a chess match that, if it's played correctly by each side, it could be very interesting. If it's played wrong by either side, the other side will dominate. That's how good this fight is.
Let's say if Canelo wins, do you think people give Canelo credit because Bud is smaller? And
Only thing when you got skill. Now, you don't have a skill, you can't take it up because you're gonna lose your punch. You're gonna lose everything. When you got skill, all your stuff that you have goes up with you. You talk to the GOAT. I went out with a heavyweight.
No, it's a lot of the people, which is why I brought up, would use the weight as an advantage for Canelo. But I agree, and you're right. Canelo fights obviously taller fighters all the time and wins. It's about skill as opposed to.
Now he's passing on that wisdom to Crawford, sharpening the skill set, improving the footwork, and tightening the defense. Critics say Canelo's power will be too much. But Crawford has faced doubt before and silenced it every time.
If he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know. It'll all be predicated upon how well Terence can take his punch.
Yeah. You said you don't think, or you don't look into the weight difference. Why?
When you know how to box, when you're as skillful as Terence Crawford is, weight don't really matter much. Only thing that matters with the weight is can you take the punch. And I'm sure he's been sparring with super middles and light heavies, so I'm sure he probably.
Should he just retire and go on the sunset?
Bud definitely should retire if he wins. Canelo, no, you have unfinished business, bro. You can try to hide, you can try to run, but that monster thing, it ain't going nowhere. I'm sorry. Even if you retire the rest of your career, the monster thing is not going anywhere because the monster was searching for you. He beat everything y'all sent at him in the process of trying to get to you. I don't care who you beat, the monster thing is gonna always follow him.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there was a time where he was saying.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What do you got to prove to Boot? Boot trying to take over and start beating the guys around him. Prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who?
With a perfect mix of speed, IQ, and timing, he made elite fighters look ordinary. According to Roy, if Bud can take Canelo's punch, he can win this fight. Canelo, meanwhile, remains confident. He's the face of boxing. But Roy believes that confidence could backfire if he underestimates Crawford's hunger. This isn't just about belts. It's about legacy.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What do you got to prove to Boot? Boot trying to take over and start beating the guys around him. Prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who?
Now, I want to see Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me?
That fight will go, Crawford and
Crawford won the pound best fighter fighting. I mean, it'll be tough. But right now, that's going to be a tough fight for both fighters. We got to see how Crawford carries the weight.
What about Jamal? Based on what you saw from Canelo, how does he match up?
Jamal matched up a little different because Jamal a little bit bigger.
Performance were you impressed by?
About the power he showed. He fought the proper fight for the proper opponent. When you fight a guy coming up 2 weight classes, you're supposed to bully him. If he'd fought Mayweather that way back in the day, we'd saw a much better fight. But he didn't. But he's learned now, and that shows you that he's improved and he understands boxing more now because he bullied the smaller guy, which is what you're supposed to do. What you say?
What about Crawford, Roy?
Crawford still, I think he's a little big for Crawford. I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but
it's a hard one to call, and I'm gonna tell you why it's a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove whether he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo come to the dance.
Bud Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Man, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he's gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it's gonna be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that's been waiting.
Canelo did what he had to do to get the victory.
What do you want next? It seems like that's going to be the fight. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there. So that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?
You'll see. Come 12.
Go to decision as opposed to win.
The last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You mention me one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look,
it's gonna be me.
I don't care.
If Crawford wins, he'll become the first male fighter in history to become undisputed champion in 3 weight classes: power, skill, pride, history. It all comes down to one night. Don't miss this one. Boxing history is about to be written.